I'm doing a voiceover at 1 a.m, so I'm going to try and sound as cheerful as possible, but I played way too much R.E.P.O, and so here's a bunch of random cool things that I've learned. For the first tip, and probably the reason you clicked on the video, we probably all know that recharge crystals are able to fully charge one item before they break and no longer can be used. However, there is a way around this that you can basically use one crystal forever. You are going to take whatever item you want to charge. It can be empty, it can be half. Here I just have an empty roll drone. It's fully out of charge and I have one crystal. As you can see, I'm only going to charge the roll drone about 75% of the way, not fully using the crystal. After that, I am then going to enter the level. By doing this, the crystal will reset its health, so then I can basically fully charge another item. So here we are now in the level. Let me just find one other item. We'll do this indestructible drone. We'll take that, put it in. As you can see, I charge it even more. Crystal's not used yet. Then I'll just grab the gun here that's fully out of charge, and I'm able to charge it about halfway, and that is all from one crystal. We got about 1.5 to almost 2 full uses from that one crystal. So the crystal health will reset every time you leave a level and every time you enter a level. Up next, we have the issue with the Invincible Robe. As many of you may realize, at higher levels, when you try and kill a robe, it will sometimes just go invincible if you're trying to use a pit or even just trying to smash it up and down, and it will float right back up. There is actually a very easy way around this and still get the orb and kill the robe. So what you're going to do is, after you throw the robe in the pit, you're going to run about 2 rooms away as far as you can, as far as it lets you, and the robe will literally just die after a few seconds. So once you're far enough away, or the robe travels far enough away from you, it will just despawn and the orb will take its place. So here it is one more time. I throw the robe into a pit, and then immediately I run away, try and get like 2 rooms away-ish, 3 if you can. And then I look at the map, you can see that red dot disappear. That was the robe actually despawning, and you can see its orb right there just falls right back in the pit. But if I was back in time, I would have been able to catch it, or it would just be sitting on the ground there if I'm lucky. This next tip is going to be probably the main reason you're losing a lot of money on the last extraction. Here you can see I have a $12,000 cube, and then in my cart I have an $11,000 cube. When you put an item on the extraction after the red lights are going, it will not count that item that you put into the extraction. So here you'll see that I lose $11,000. So I'm going to go ahead and put the $12,000 cube on, then wait with the cart until the red lights appear. Once they appear, I'm going to put it on to just show you how it works. As you can see, I only collected 12,000, not the 23,000 that I should have collected. And here you can see it once I go to the shop. There it is, only 12,000. So make sure all your items are put on the extraction before the red lights appear, and this only applies to the last extraction. Every other extraction doesn't matter, they will count the money. Next is the saving grace mechanic that R.E.P.O has. If you are less than or equal to 20 HP and greater than 5 HP, taking less than 25 damage will not kill you, even if the enemy does more than the health you have. So in short, here you can see that I only have 8 HP. The upscreen, which does 10 damage, will not kill me here due to this mechanic. You can see it throws me. The first time it throws me, I actually don't take any damage, but this is the mechanic. But the second time, you can see I take the damage. However, I only take 5 damage instead of the 10 I'd normally take to kill me. Then on the last throw, it kills me because I'm below 5 HP. A little fun fact is that noises are very bad in R.E.P.O. So any object that makes noise, especially this horrible box, will decrease respawn timers and also attract enemies to the room you are in. But this box in particular will almost instantly respawn enemies, and they will definitely come to the room you are in when you have damaged this box. So make sure when you see this box to take extra care with it and try not to hit it, even with the indestructible drone on it. Some other objects with this mechanic include the musical items, the saw, the radio, and the TV. This book that eats people is not actually based on breaking any sort of lock. It is based on a timer. You can see here, even damaging it, it doesn't really care, but then it just randomly starts attacking me. The book is based on an interval timer of 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds, it basically has a chance to attack as long as you are holding it. So make sure you have the cart nearby so you can just toss the book in. This specific tile on the academy is an infinite loop. When you go to one of the corners, you can just jump up and down the corners, and any enemy that paths to you will have to take the long route around, up and down. So it'll always path back towards the stairs and not jump down to try and reach you. You can use this to just regain stamina or just point and laugh at the enemies. This is a good trick when you're not ready to put an object on the extraction yet, but the object is fragile. What you can do is take the object over and put it on the extraction, but then slide it off in order to not damage it. This is pretty quick to do and ensures that you don't lose value on your item. This trick will be useful to move heavy objects when you're not strong enough to pick them up. What you can do is rotate any item into the cart. So by just grabbing the item, looking slightly up and using the rotate while pushing your mouse forward, you'll be able to basically fling the item into the cart. From there, you can just push the item in the cart to wherever you need to go. A super helpful tip to know is that no loot can ever spawn in the extract rooms. So don't even waste your time looking around in there. This is really only going to be used in pretty niche scenarios, but after you are the last person to enter the truck and it begins to take off, you can actually just run right back out and you'll still get teleported with everyone. So if a bunch of enemies enter the ship right as you enter, you can just quickly step in and then run away, and it'll still count you as in the ship. This is fairly common knowledge, but super important to mention. Items have a short period of invulnerability when they first spawn. So make sure you are picking your items and moving them off shelves as fast as possible. And even if you hit something within those first few frames, it will not hurt the object. If you're ever wondering why the Spewer will not leave your face, this is the reason. The Spewer actually can't detach from you if you are crouched under an object. So you need to make sure that if you're crouched under an object and the Spewer's on your face, once you uncrouch from that object, it will actually leave you alone as long as it has been on your face long enough. You can use pretty much any object to bait a shot from the huntsman. So here I'm just using a roll drone. All I'm going to do is tap it against the ground. It'll bait the huntsman shot, and then of course I have the strength, so I can just grab him and throw him in a pit. This trick is more to troll your friends. If you try and buy an object when you don't have enough money, by basically trying to steal it from the shop, you throw it in at the last second, it will shoot a bunch of live grenades everywhere in the shop. Pretty funny. This is another way to troll in the shop. If you are able to click the buy button fast enough, then it will permanently close the extract that you use to purchase items from the shop. So in this shop round, you wouldn't be able to buy anything. If you're ever watching me and you're curious why we have upgrades in our ship that we're not using, this is why. You are able to manipulate what upgrades you get in the shop by keeping other upgrades. So here you can see that I'm going to buy some speed upgrades, and this will make it so that as long as I don't eat the speed upgrades that I buy, I can't get those speed upgrades in the next shop. This will open up more upgrade slots for stamina, health, strength, all the stuff you do want in case you don't want speed at the time. So you can see here when I go into my next shop, now I have all these other options and I don't have any speed because I didn't use them. I left them in the truck. Anytime you have gnomes trying to attack one of your objects, you can just hold that object in the air and over a pit. What they will try and do is jump for that object and just fall right into the pit. I believe this also works for the rugrat. If you're having trouble navigating this extraction zone, there is actually a lineup for it. What you can do is when moving with the cart, you can look at this little beam right here below you and line up with that. This will lead you directly to the middle of the wooden beam and lead you straight across. If you're going the other way back, just line up slightly to the left of that beam below you, and this will lead you onto the wooden beam. In the extraction zone, you can actually tell if an object breaks. Here, I'm going to purposely break a piano by dragging it on only halfway. And then what you can see is in the top right, it's going to go from 53,000 to 22,000. And that kind of just shows you that something did break in case you were curious. Extra jumps are super nice and can save your life. However, they can also be used to just hop around the huntsman, as huntsmen can't hear when you're jumping in the air. So use this to help navigate around the huntsman if you're having trouble. This trick's really good to help you with cart navigation. You can actually, by grabbing the side of the cart instead of the strong mode, you're able to lift up the cart over gaps. Reminder that you do need enough strength to do this, otherwise your cart will just plummet into the pit. The strength depends on how much is in the cart. Friendly reminder to make sure you're checking all your hidden loot spots, especially in the vertical tiles. You can see here, this is a spot that isn't often checked where loot can spawn above the dining room in the academy. There are many ways to kill the duck, whether you're jumping to make it fall into a pit, putting it in a toilet, putting it in a cauldron, or using the extraction site. The most important thing is if you are using the extraction site, you want to get its orb. So you want the duck to be right on the edge of it, right here as I'm showing. And then after your loot extracts, the duck will drop its orb in its place. A good way to keep your cart safe from those pesky rugrats and gnomes is to put the cart on a table or chair. That way, when the rugrat or gnomes come across it, they actually aren't able to jump up and get it. They will try and they will fail. You can sneak by any enemy by just finding basically any object and rotating it while you're crouched above your head. This will force you into a shorter crouched mode and allow you to stealth through everything. You are practically invisible when doing this. You're also able to do this with the front of the cart or just putting the cart on top of you and walking around with it. If you didn't know, you can actually use the side of your screen to see further. Here you can see that if I'm looking straight at this doorway, I can't see anything, but when I look to the side, you can see a sneaky little rugrat. He's just chilling. The musical box that makes you spin can be annoying, but you can actually counteract this action by sliding your mouse in the opposite direction. So by sliding your mouse left, you can basically walk straight while holding the music box. Unfortunately, you can't infinitely farm enemies for money, as each enemy will only drop 3 orbs. So once you kill an enemy and it respawns, you can only kill that particular enemy 2 more times for its orb before it will no longer drop one. Do you ever get annoyed by ducks? Well, I sure do, and here's one really easy way to get rid of them. If you just find any sort of doorway, what you can do is get on the corner of that doorway and look at the wall. Because the duck paths where you are looking, it will try and go on the other side of the wall, then it will just lose you because it's stupid and wander off. A neat trick with the pocket cart is if you have a full pocket cart and you're in the extraction, by just putting the pocket cart in your inventory, it'll drop everything in the cart so that you don't have to individually take everything out. You can also use this pocket cart, or any item really, it's just easier with the pocket cart, to block the line of sight to the ceiling eyeball. This will just make you lose it and it will disappear. For our third pocket cart trick, you can put the pocket cart below you when you're floating above because you are about to get hit by the alien's attack. What it will do is when the alien slams you down, you'll fall right into the pocket cart and take no damage. The cart can actually be used as a really efficient weapon. You can practically take out any enemy by just shoving the cart into it and pushing that enemy into a pit. You can see here, I use it on the trudge. Not really sure why he's not aggroing me here, but I'm able to just push him right into the pit. Did you ever want a car in Repo? Well, now you have one. If you put the pocket cart inside the actual cart and then use the strong mode on the pocket cart, you can just drive the cart around. It's pretty fast and a lot of fun. This video took a while, so please show some love, like, comment, and subscribe because we're trying to hit 100k subs. But thank you a bunch for watching, and I hope to see you on this Twitch. I stream every day. Have a good one.